How's it going, everyone? Nick here with my review for The Mandalorian Chapter 6, The Prisoner. So, spoilers ahead. If you guys don't want to be spoiled on what happens in the episode, now is the time to go click off the video and watch it and come back and we can discuss. So essentially this episode is like the previous two in that it's mostly standalone, doesn't really propel the main plot of Baby Yoda and the Imperials and the Bounty Hunters Guild coming after Mando, but it provides us with some interesting new characters and some more action set pieces and a little bit more of an exploration as to Mando's backstory. In the episode, the Mandalorian lands on a space station that has a character named Ran, who he previously knew from running missions for him. It seems like Mando is short on money and needs to do a job to get some more cash, which will let him keep laying low with Baby Yoda. And essentially Ran has put together a crew which includes a Twi'lek named Xi'an, who the Mando also knows from the past, Mayfield, played by Bill Burr, who's an ex-Imperial sharpshooter, a droid named Zero, and Clancy Brown playing a big Deveronian named Berg. So the episode plays out like some kind of typical mercenary heist movie where basically they have to rescue a prisoner out of a giant New Republic ship that's heavily guarded, and they have to use the Mando ship, the Razor Crest, to get in undetected because it's not on Imperial or New Republic charts, so it won't get tipped off. And they do this kind of cat and mouse thing going through the ship, which I found interesting because it was kind of our first look at what the New Republic is like after the fall of the Empire. It seems like they utilize droids on these prison ships and they only have, one or two humans at most that kind of operate things, and it was a fun cameo from a guy that voiced Anakin in the Clone Wars series as the New Republic ship guard. So all in all, I found this episode to be fairly enjoyable. It wasn't the best ever or anything. One thing that I do like about this episode and Chapter 2, both directed by Rick Famuyiwa, was how he puts a spotlight on Baby Yoda and seems to give him a lot more personality that he has in other episodes. Another cool thing is that when Baby Yoda is utilized in these episodes, he actually tends to show more intelligence than he does in the other ones, and he actually shows that he can use the Force even. There's a moment when Zero, the droid, is on the ship after they've double-crossed the Mandalorian, where Baby Yoda is kind of playing hide-and-seek trying to get away from this droid because he seems to sense there's some kind of danger coming from him. And the point when Zero finally corners Baby Yoda, he raises his hand to use the Force before he's saved by the Mando himself, and he looks at his hand in disbelief because he thinks that he killed the droid. So I thought that was a pretty fun moment, but again, I feel like people might take issue with this episode and the previous two because ever since episode 3, the show has essentially been like standalone adventures where the Mando takes a job and helps out some people and then kind of moves on to another planet. So it is very much taking inspiration from like old Western shows and old serialized TV shows and stuff. Mostly feels almost like a live-action version of the Clone Wars or Rebels or something. I personally hope that we see some more of the Mandalorian culture and tribe stuff come up in Season 2 because it seems like the last couple episodes are going to be kind of like a two-part story dealing with Moff Gideon, played by Giancarlo Esposito, as he finally catches up with the Mando and brings a squad of Death Troopers. The good thing about waiting for the next episode is that it's actually going to drop on a Wednesday this time because of The Rise of Skywalker, with the finale dropping a week after episode 9's release. So drop your thoughts down below. What did you guys think of Chapter 6, The Prisoner? Did you like it? Did you not like it? Did you have flaws with it? What were some of the highlights for you? And which of the mercenary characters did you like the most? That's another thing that I liked about this episode is that he didn't actually kill off the mercenaries, he left them prisoner back on the New Republic ship, so there's always the chance they could come back for revenge in the future. Which is another hint that the Mandalorian is changing a little bit as a character, as in the past he probably would have just ruthlessly killed all of them. So be on the lookout for our reviews and coverage of the last 2 episodes of the season. For all things Star Wars and the latest in pop culture, be sure to subscribe to HN Entertainment.